What is going on, guys? We are back with another episode review. This episode is episode 15 of Arrow Doppleanger. And rightfully so. At the beginning of the episode, from last time we saw that Laurel went up to some random guy on the side of the street and said, "Hey, I'm Laurel Lance." Obviously leading to her showing herself in public and becoming this world's Laurel. And so that plays out. We didn't really know exactly why she was doing that, what her play was, and now we know. We know what she was trying to do, what she's planning on doing here in the future. We get a lot of development and figure out what the writer's plan for her is. And then immediately after that, we pan to Oliver's office, the mayor's office, and the attorney that's representing him, the DA, has found a way to dismiss the case, she says, and it's 100% going to work. And she's like, we're going to go into the judge and get a motion to dismiss the case, and everything will go away. No one will be asking if you're the Green Arrow again. They go into the DA. The the detective on Diaz's payroll has a new witness, Roy Harper. So Diaz went out, kidnapped Roy, brought him to Star City, and they're now torturing him. Which is crazy because we go back to Team Arrow and Felicity didn't know where he was, couldn't find him. Diggle didn't know where he was. Argus doesn't know. Nobody knew where Roy was. But somehow Diaz found him, which kind of shows a little bit of his potential. And we see more as we go. Then we go over to the hospital where Laurel's already talked to the press. She's in for just for some treatment and staying at the hospital to just recover from her wounds from the fight with Black Canary the previous episode. And one of the officers takes her away to a safe house, which is really just Diaz's compound, where he's running everything. And so she's obviously working with him at that point, or he's going to be making her work with him. And then we get a little more banter between Dinah and Quentin, because they definitely are not getting along at this point. But after that, we pan back over to Team Arrow in the bunker, or actually out in the field, maybe just right before they're doing some recon before they go in to save Roy, I think. And Diggle brings up the fact that he wants the hood back. He wants to wear it, and Oliver's questioning why he gave it to Roy, why he let Roy do that in the first place. And he's kind of like, what if I had done this, had done that? And it brings up this thing that I'm obviously a couple episodes behind, but Brothers in Arms is going to be a fight between Oliver and Diggle, which we've seen a couple times, and this seems like a little bit ridiculous for them to fight over, but I'm glad that they're at least leading up to it, because I've seen a lot of people upset that that episode just came out like literally yesterday. Yeah, literally yesterday night. So obviously I'm a couple episodes behind, but I saw so many people upset about the episode, but at least they're showing that like it's leading up to this like fight between the two, and why John wants the hood, why Oliver doesn't want to give it up. So at least they're trying to explain that instead of just throwing that straight at you in an episode. Because really, like, there should be no reason for them to fight, but at least if they're gonna fight, you have to put some meaning behind it and some conversations prior before you just throw them at each other, you know what I mean? And so then we pan back over to Diaz's compound where Laurel's been brought to, and we find out Anatoly is working with Diaz, and he's trying to get Laurel on board as well, even though Laurel's upset that he betrayed James and her and Anatoly and everybody and had his own plan the entire time. And we are going to go back into the field again to do an actual mission on saving Roy. And so Speedy says, I'm suiting up. If you guys can't, if she makes an excuse that they can't make it through the vent, which when you're looking at it, they definitely could have. But she goes in to save Roy. They have a really great moment right at the beginning. It's like Roy never left. I wish he didn't leave, but he did. But it's like he never left. And then a whole SWAT team shows up probably because of the fireworks. In all honesty, it was probably because of the fireworks that they called in a SWAT team. They're like, that wasn't supposed to go off. Nobody knows what that was. So that's why the SWAT team came in, if anybody was wondering. Because it's not something that just happens, you know? So the distraction that was supposed to give Speedy more time actually gave her less time to get him out of there. Oliver definitely could have taken out, like, the 2 guards on the roof if Speedy had gotten in, watched the cops leave, say, nobody's in here. The cops on there are gone. Take these guys out and we'll get Roy out of here. They could have done that, to be honest. But the firework thing, good plot point. It doesn't even make it like a plot hole at all. And then, so Speedy suits up. Diaz brings Laurel back into the little chamber where they're all fighting, improving their worth to the team, his team. And so we see these guys going at it. One guy breaks his leg fighting Diaz. And he's like, you're part of the team. Like, nice work. Like, crazy stuff like that. So they're, like, super hardcore. Kind of like the Prophet is. Like, if you aren't the strongest, you're going to die. We're going to kill you off. Like, you don't matter if you can't beat everybody else. And then there's an attempt to move Roy. They fake an attempt to move Roy in a caravan. And they say there's a transport. It's totally faked. Diaz has basically control of the entire police department that we find out at this point. There's only a couple people that are on his payroll. And so he has enough leverage to do whatever he wants with that department. Completely, just anything. So he faked the moving of a prisoner, which they assume to be Roy. There's nobody in the cart, so it's a fake decoy. And then we go back to the compound. Laurel gave the location of the compound to Quentin and Oliver and Thea, and they say, we're going in. Thea's basically giving them no choice. And Black Canary has the chance to go in with them, and Oliver tells her just straight up, nope, I don't trust you. You can't be in the field. And I honestly thought it was going to be like a redeeming moment where she shows up and helps out, but it didn't happen that way. So they're still not working together, really. It'll turn around here soon. That's just one of the plot points leading up to it, I'm assuming. So we'll see Black Canary, Curtis, and even maybe Renee join back on the team eventually. Just it's not the right time for them, I don't think. So they do the assault on the compound. Oliver knocks out Anatoly. The one thing they didn't address is what they did with him. Is because Diggle had eyes on Anatoly. Oliver goes up to the roof to help Thea fight the dragon, Ricardo Diaz. Roy's in a truck already, and Diaz fights Thea. Oliver comes up, tackles Diaz. Is like, you're at a loss, dude. Like, Thea, get in the car, drive Roy away. I'm gonna sit here with Diaz, and Diaz is like, you can't do anything. Like, the police are gonna come and they're gonna shoot you. There's an anti-vigilante task force. If you try and stop me, they're just gonna stop you. So that was a good play on his part. He knew exactly what to do to play into Oliver. And he's like, no kill shots. I need them alive. So obviously they're a part of his bigger plan to get the city to go against him, I'm guessing. To overrule the only kind of protection the city really has, with the police force being under his control. And so Roy gets to come with Thea, and everybody's in the bunker. They have a nice little reunion, and then Thea and Roy go off to, I think, the old apartment that Oliver had. I don't know if that's Thea's now. I guess it is. So they're in that apartment, and there's a League of Assassin member on the rooftop across, and she goes, "I've located the heir to the League of Assassins, the heir to the demon," which is Thea, apparently. Which I honestly, this makes me believe John Barrowman is still alive. One, how would that news that she killed Malcolm by stepping off of the landmine and him, I guess it would be secession also, though. So, maybe not. Maybe he is actually dead. Okay, maybe not. I didn't even think about the secession kind of thing. But I think that he has to kind of appoint her in some way or fashion, that he would have to appoint her as the next heir to the demon, because Nyssa was in line. Talia was supposed to be in line. But they're not, because Ra's al Ghul chose Oliver instead. So, like, there has to be some sort of way. And, I mean, like, the prophecy was that somebody who died by his blade then came back to life would be the next Ra's al Ghul, assuming Oliver, right? But he also did the same thing to Malcolm Merlyn by torturing him with the same sword. So, like, he picked Oliver. Oliver gave that up to Malcolm. Malcolm would have to choose somebody, unless he already chose Thea. I just feel like he's not dead, and maybe he wrote like a little letter from XYZ of, I don't even know. We'll see how that plays out next episode, which I'm gonna go watch right now since I'm super behind. So we got that little sneak peek, but then we also Oliver visits. I almost said Roy visits. Oliver visits Laurel and has a nice little chat with her. Things are looking up with her, and then she gets a text message from Ricardo Diaz that says good work. So obviously she's like a double triple agent kind of thing, where she's like, "Oh, I'm working with Diaz. I'm working with him, but I'm really working with you." And then she goes back to Diaz, and I'm like, "I'm working with them, but I'm really honestly working with you." So it's like a triple agent kind of thing. Which kind of sucks, but I really hope that she redeems herself. I honestly don't see it happening. She keeps playing into these guys that want to use her for, use her for their plans, and she always gets the short end of the stick on everything. The weird thing, though, is that she always lives, and the person that she's working for always dies. So, like, Zoom, who else has she worked for? Zoom, James. She's worked for somebody else. I know that. I forget who she worked with before. I don't know. Savitar, right? No, I don't think she did. That was just Killer Frost. Who else did she work for? Anyways, she keeps playing into these guys that are just asshats and not great people that have really shitty plans, and then getting the short end of the stick, and then they die, and then she's like, "Oh, now what?" kind of thing. Like, she doesn't know what to do after that. And that's basically the whole episode. So that is Doppleganger. The next episode is something I'd have to look. Honestly, here, hold on. I'll be right back. I'll look. Okay, I got a list here. So that was Doppleganger. The next one is the Thanatos Guild. I think that's how you say it. The Thanatos Guild. It makes me think of Thanos in Infinity War, which is only 3 weeks away. I'll do a video on that probably, because I've been so hyped. I'll do like a little spoilerish video of how the timeline's gonna work through the episode. I call it an episode because it's like 2 parts. I don't know. But through the movie, how like the plot points are gonna play out, how I think, based on the footage we've seen in the trailer, like when the Wakandan fight happens, like the giant battle, that you see, like the Wakandan force field getting attacked, and like the Hulk, War Machine, Black Widow, Okoye, who else is there in that fight? Winter Soldier, I think. When all of them run out at Thanos and everything, like when Thanos and Cap go head to head, when like this giant space circle thing comes down and Peter Parker like leaves the bus, all of that stuff, like when all the different things happen, because I have a pretty solid idea, and I've watched the trailers enough times to kind of put things together. And when things happen, because the Order of the Gems, obviously, that's a different, especially with the timeline of Marvel in general, you'd assume that he'd be getting this Tesseract first, because Thor Ragnarok happened, and we saw him, his ship, I don't even remember what it's called, pull up over the top of Thor's ship. And you're like, oh shit, Thor is fucked, right? And so he probably boards that ship, gets the Tesseract because Loki has it, right? So that would be the first gem that he has. But no, you see him put that in second, he already has the power gem. Well, then maybe the start of the movie is before Black Panther, before Ragnarok ends. There's already stuff going on. I think Ragnarok is like the starting point of where we're gonna see everything, like when Ragnarok is like happening and Asgard's exploding. That's when Thanos is getting the power gem, and I'll explain that all later. Anyways, that's spoilers. I doubt anybody's watching 17 minutes in, so I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm not gonna put spoilers in. But anyways, I'm gonna go watch the Thanatos Guild. I really need to know how to say that. And then there's the Brothers in Arm episode. I got like 5 episodes of Legends to do, and 2 episodes of The Flash. So Run Iris Run. I've really been regretting like trying to push off this episode because I don't want to see it. But I understand how they switch the powers. I just think it's gonna be super cheesy, because they do the same thing with Supergirl. Like, it's super over the top, like feminism everywhere, like, and then like you're like, okay, this just makes it not fun to watch, because like I don't need to like it's good to get those messages occasionally, have them pop up and be like, oh, these are important, like, and we need to make this statement right here on this episode. Like, there's the episode Spectre of the Gun from 5th season of Arrow. That's perfect. That's like one episode where it's like, boom, gun violence. This is the problems with it on each side. This is how you talk about it in a productive way, and this is fucking Oliver stopped the fucking active shooter, right? That's a positive message and a positive episode. But when you have an entire season filled with many little boom, oh, just because I'm a girl, like, okay, we get it. Like, you don't need to throw that in every single episode. Like, that doesn't need to be the Supergirl's main purpose. She's a badass. Like, you don't need to be like, oh, well, like, everyone doubts me all the time. Like, no, you're a fucking badass, dude. So I'm hoping that, like, Run Iris Run is not like that. I've been really trying not to watch it because I don't want to deal with it, and I don't want it to be over the top and cheesy, but I know it's gonna probably be something like Supergirl episodes. And it's not that I have a problem with feminism at all. I just explained it. Like, Supergirl's a fucking badass. The problem with the feminist lens on that show is it's every single episode applied to it. Oh, we need to look at this as feminism. Like, oh, she had a failure. Like, let's make it about feminism. Let's, like, be like, hey, Hank Henshaw or some other guy needs to say, like, oh, wow, like, Superman wouldn't have had a problem with that. Like, no, we don't need that. Like, that's the first 4 episodes. Everybody is comparing her to Superman. And it's like, no, she's her own goddamn character. And I get that's a point of the Supergirl comics. I've read them, and they're fucking fun. but it's overbearing. That's all I'm trying to say, and I don't want to see that kind of thing come to the Flash. The run, like the "We Are Flash," Team Flash thing, already just pisses me off already. Like, we are the Flash. Like, no, Barry is the Flash. You are his wife, and you are a very big, important part of his life. But that doesn't make you the Flash. You know what I mean? So it's just dramatic and goofy, and there's no need for it. Like, Iris in the comics would never be like, "We are the Flash. We together, even though you are doing all the running, all the saving people, I'm just here to mentally, physically, and love you. Like support you and love you." Like, that's great. That's what people need. That's what you need in a relationship. But that doesn't make you the Flash. That makes him the Flash. And that's why I have a whole problem with the whole "We Are the Flash" and the "Run Iris Run" episode. And that's why I totally want to avoid it. I think it's going to be good character development with Barry for him not having his powers, but I think it's going to be cheesy because the whole entire time he's going to be focused on her and her safety. And, like, it's going to be cool to see him train her and see that, like, little weird dynamic. But I don't want him to take it too far. And I already know without seeing the episode that they are going to. And I'll talk more about that in Run Iris Run when I review it, when I watch it. I'm going to do these 2 episodes. I don't even know if I can get through both these episodes tonight. It's pretty late. I'm going to do at least 16 of Arrow, maybe 17. Then I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of Legends. I only work like a couple hours tomorrow, so I'll probably try and do all those and get them out of the way. I need to be doing these more consistently, obviously. But, and then 2 of Flash. And then I'll be entirely caught up by Monday in like 4 days. Solid? Sounds good. Sounds good to me. I guess it's only 2 days from now. Yeah, I have to stream tomorrow also too, so maybe not all 5 episodes of Legend, maybe like 3 of them, and then we'll call it perfect on that. And then Sunday, I know I have to go see my girlfriend, and I have work that morning, which sucks. So I'll probably do the last 2 of Legends, because I'm telling you, I want to avoid that Flash episode. There's going to be another episode of Legends on Monday that I'll do, and then the 2 Flash, since I have that entire day. Basically, I work like 11, I don't know. We'll see what I work that day. I might be at work till like 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock, something like that. But anyways, that is Arrow episode 15, Doppleanger, and a lot of other included stuff. Little sneak peeks at other videos. But I'm going to have thumbnails uploaded for all these pretty soon here, because I've been working on actual thumbnails and I've had way too much on my plate and had too many stressful things going on to actually be productive, but I'm actually being productive now, so suck it. Just kidding. Anyways, have a good night. 22 minutes in. If you're really here, still watching this, I am so proud of you. Thank you so much. I appreciate your support, and I will see you in the next episode. Peace out.